This is a short video on how to install OBS, Open Broadcaster software, on your PC or Mac to make your lessons for your students and learners far more engaging and stimulating. My name is Eric Yates. This is Net Chameleon School Zone. Let's get started. Let's start by going to look at the PC first, and then we'll look at the Mac version. Right, simply open up browser. In this case I've got Google, and I'm going to search for OBS and return. OBS simply stands for Open Broadcaster Software, which is free to use across the board. Right, so click on OBS and you then select the operating system you're going to download for. In this case it's Windows. Simply click on that and it'll download ready for you to install. Once you've installed it, it will look like this, which is a blank scene. Right, now let's head over to the Mac. Exactly the same process. Let's open up a browser. In this case I'm using Google Chrome 2, OBS, and then look for Open Broadcaster Software. Click on the link and open up the Mac. So download for the Mac OS, and you see already I've started to download that. Once installed, again it will look like this, exactly the same on both the PC and the Mac version. Now you'll note at the moment we've got two blank scenes. This is the pre-scene, or where you design your scene prior to going live, and this is the output or live screen that will be seen either when you're streaming directly to YouTube or Facebook, or if you're going to use what they call the virtual cam. Now this version of OBS has the virtual cam already installed, which we'll be looking at more in depth in a later video. The virtual camera simply outputs a virtual camera, like it would do any camera feed, to your Zoom or to your Teams. So let's get started with, first of all, adding a few things to this scene. The first thing we're going to add is me, a video capture of me. So what we're looking for, we'll cover all these in later videos, but we're simply going to add a video capture device. Now, depending on how many video capture devices you have in your system, I've got a few. I'm going to call this one Logitech, so I don't get confused and I know which video feed I'm using. Now once we've done that, we're then going to select the frame rate. 720p is fine for most things, because Zoom and Teams will both downgrade the quality of the video, so we don't want to have it too high of quality, just enough so people can make out what you're doing. So here's my webcam. I'll put links to various cams down below. I would recommend this particular camera, although I've got another video on YouTube of which is the base equipment. This one's the C922 Pro. It retails around about £150. It's a good solid little camera for doing most things. Okay, so we'll press OK. Now you'll see behind me I've got a bit of my studio, my office, a little bit of stuff here. The green screen isn't quite wide enough for this particular setup, so I'm going to have to readjust this frame. Now the way we do that is you simply use your mouse and your keyboard. On the Mac you hold down Option, on the PC you hold down Alt, and you simply drag the sides of the scene to where you need them to be. So we get that nice and clean looking. So that's me in a box. Now I can transition that across. If I was going live to YouTube or Zoom, you will see that straight away anything that appears in this output screen will appear through the virtual cam on Zoom and Teams, and we'll look at that more closely in the next video or the next videos. Now note I've got a green screen. I might as well use a green screen. There is another video online on YouTube about how to use green screens and what I would recommend, which we'll cover later on in a future video. Now what we need to do is to remove the background. We do that through a process called chroma key, and you've probably seen the weathermen, weatherwomen, weathermen and ladies online doing the weather. They often use a blue screen, and it's the same process. They will simply opaque the color of the screen using a thing called a chroma key. So once I add chroma key, the background has been removed. Now note, and after a little bit of tidying up, too much you disappear. So adjust it so that the lines are clean and you are absolutely crisp without too much too much fading on the outside of the image. Now note, if you had a different screen, a blue, magenta, whatever, you can do it any custom screen you have. It doesn't have to be green, it could be another solid colour. But make sure if you're using green screen that the colour of your clothing is completely different to the background, otherwise you too will disappear. Once I press OK and just transition that across, difficult to say, there is me on the blank screen. Now once I'm invisible behind me, anything I add either in front or behind, or certainly behind, will just be an object. Now I just transit across, and now I can then talk, point to different elements on the screen, get other images to come in, and we'll have a look at later in the video on how to put a PowerPoint behind you so that your course members or your students or your learners will see exactly what's going on. You can then interact with it and add in other elements. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next video.